Let's take you to the northern region, where the people of Basanayiri in the Sola Tuna Kalba district have taken their own destiny into their own hands to get a community a 6-unit classroom block. The community has, as a result, introduced an initiative, one adult, one cement bag. Hashbin Mohammed has more in this report.
Basanayiri is a farming community in the Sola Tuna Kalba district in the northern region. It is not different from other most deprived communities in Ghana. They do not only lack clinic and good road network, but school infrastructure as well. What concerns them most is how to ensure their children get quality education like their counterparts in the urban areas. A mud constructed school block with thatch roofs is the best they have now. The rusty nails can no longer hold anything firmly here, and there is another visible danger I have just noticed. All the walls have developed deep cracks, and this exposes them to great danger. Your guess is as good as mine. Only God knows what will happen should there be a storm. It is 9 a.m. and I am in class 5 classroom where the teacher in charge has just arrived to commence teaching.
So factors of 6.
Here in this classroom, there are no chairs and tables. Timber logs are what the people sit on. The classroom has also not been cemented, so the unfortunate ones are compelled to sit in the sun to learn. The people say they always go home tired and dirty. It, however, appears these are but a list of their problems. The school has only 3 teachers, a headmaster and 2 community volunteers, attending to over 100 people from primary 1 to 6. Headmaster of the school, Kweku Jacob, is very worried.
Actually, the first time I heard that I've been posted to Basanayiri GA Primary School, I was much excited. But later when I got to the community and I moved to the school, I look at the school, that day when I came, it was animals that were in the classrooms. As you can see some drops over there. I called one of the volunteer teachers and I found out, is that your school? He said, yes, that's the school. In fact, that day I myself, I was disturbed as a professional teacher. When I even entered the class, I was not having the zeal to teach. Because looking at the structure and how the classroom, you can imagine a full school with this type of structure. I find out why the children are no more in the school, why the enrollment is not encouraging. One of the teachers said that to find out from the peoples. I called one passed by a girl who was passing by. I found out why she's not in school. She told me that, Master, that you yourself look at this school. Is it a school? That the government know about them. In fact, I was really disturbed and I don't know what to do. I took heart, and once that's my profession, I can't do otherwise than to teach. So that's why you have seen me here today.
Equally worried about the situation, the community have taken up the lead role through a self-help initiative to contribute 1 bag of cement per adult to begin the construction of the school, whilst continuing their appeal to government and philanthropists for help. Saidu Jeremiah is a development agent with Jaksali working in the area. Explain why the need.
And when I came in and drove in the first time, I saw this block. So I was curious about the block. I got closer and I saw that they had written P1 and they had written P2 to 3, they had written P6. So I took a picture of it and asked one of our community volunteers here, and they said that was a school block. I said, wow. I entered the classrooms and I saw that there were logs on the floor. And I knew that that is what the children sit on. It took me off. I came to do a different project, but I thought that if this is a school block for Ghanaian children like my daughter. I'm wondering if I bring my daughter here this morning and ask her, Mountain, to go into this classroom, this is your classroom. She will just run out and start running back somewhere. So that was one of the challenges that I decided that I will come back and I'll talk to the community and we'll see us.
For Joy News, Hashmin Mohammed report from Basanayiri.
President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, during the 2016 electioneering, promised to come up with a one village, one dam policy should he be given the mantle of leadership for the country. And the implementation of the program is about to start as 10 communities in each of the 11 municipal and districts in the Upper West region have been selected to benefit from the program. JoyNews Upper West region correspondent Rafiq Salam visited one of the communities, Chenugu, and reports that the people are excited about the start of the program.
Government under the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program in the 2017 budget earmarked an amount of 94,446,132 Ghana cedis for the One Village One Dam policy. The One Village One Dam policy is aimed at ensuring all year-round agriculture in the 3 regions of the north through the construction of irrigation dams in every village in the northern Gulf of the country. As part of the program, 10 communities in each of the 10 municipal and districts in the Upper West region will be selected to benefit from the program, which will enhance their agricultural infrastructure and also ensure that the rearing of livestock is on the high. One of the communities selected in the one municipality to benefit from the program is Charango. Farming is predominant here in the community. Rearing of animals like cattle is also done on a large scale. However, their greatest challenge is always in the dry season when the few wells and dugouts in the community runs out of water. They are forced without any option than to allow the cattle to drink water from contaminated sources. Alhaji Said Abdullah said a couple of years ago they lost several cattle as a result. He is therefore excited about the One Village One Dam policy promised by the government. We were hit with drought last year. We had only small water left on the dugout, but which was also contaminated with mud and clay. Our cattle became sick and later died after drinking mud and clay. We lost several of our cattle. We thought the One Village One Dam policy was a joke, but now that we have seen the people here, we are happy that our cattle will not die again. Fortunately for the Cherengu community, there is already an existing dugout. Engineers and consultants dispatched to the area are already busy at work. Their concentration the past few hours has been how to improve on the water storage capacity to serve the irrigational needs of the residents and their animals. Suleiman Oten is an engineer with the War Office of the Irrigation Development Authority.
We are taking some features on the ground. We are picking spot heights. We want to know the length of the existing wall. We want to find out the height of the existing wall. We also want to know the slopes and some physical features that we see here. That's what we are doing. We hope to increase the storage capacity. And as you are aware, when you came in, you saw large herds of cattle. They need water. So we need to improve the storage capacity so that they can have access to water all year round.
Upper West team leader of Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program, Amos Jato, pledged to finish the construction of the dams or dugouts before the rainy season sets in.
If you look at the structure of the Ghanaian economy, it's largely agrarian. That means that if we improve upon the agricultural development of our country, the high potential for us to increase GDP, to also empower our people economically is high. Therefore, government thought that we should go through agric to improve upon the Ghanaian economy.
Even though the construction of the dams and dugouts are yet to start, one municipal chief executive, Alhaji Tairu Isaku Mumin, is already talking about the benefit that people will derive from the construction of the dugout.
This is a project that is coming, and we have to give it to people who are really in need of it, and not necessarily meeting our campaign promise. As you have seen yourself along all the communities that we have visited and considered, you realize that the people are actually in need of it. Our coming here, we saw that already they have a deck out that is fully silted. And then, according to information picked from the ground, many cattle are lost last year because of the fact that during this time, the cattle are not able to get good water to drink. They drink the water contaminated with clay. And that has caused the death of many cattle, and others have to relocate their cattle to different communities or probably different regions, and that is no good for people.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Charango.
The Malco Evangelical Presbyterian Girls Senior High School, located in the Volta Regional Capital Hall, has done away with the ballot paper system of voting for school prefects by introducing an all-new electronic voting system. The e-voting system, which was developed by the school's Information Technology Department, allows students to vote for preferred candidates in less than just a minute with ease. And Malco EP Girls Senior High School is the first second cycle school in the Volta region, if not nationwide, to adopt the electronic voting system. And JoyNews' Fred Kwame witnessed the voting process and now reports.
The voting process begins with validation of names in the student register. The name of the voter is then entered into the system, which generates a unique identification code to enable the student access the e-voting platform. When voters enter the identification code into the e-voting platform, they are able to access the list of candidates and their various positions they are contesting. Voters can then cast their ballot by selecting the preferred candidate and the corresponding position. The selection process is repeated until all positions are voted for. Seth Kpofo, who developed the software, explains what went into its coding.
Sessions into the software. We use Java to write the code. So the set comprises of 3 sessions. That is e-voting, that students use to vote or select their prefects. The second session is for accounting, which they use for billing of the students and all those things. And the third aspect, which is reports, student reports. That's what we use to manage it. So first of all, when the students come to first year, we have to load them to the system by registering them, and the system will assign them a unique identifier. That is a number. So when it comes to voting, we just assign them those numbers to go to the client and then start voting.
Students were particularly impressed with the efficiency and swiftness of the system.
We go to the pool, we type, and sometimes we don't even know how to fold the paper. But as compared to this year, I can see there's a change because you just come here, you don't waste time, you type your thing, and I'm finding it very easy. We used to stand in the line for long hours before we go. This time now it was short.
The headmistress in charge of welfare, Rose Nyawuto, said the initiative was to expose students to the changing trends of ICT in the world.
The administrative costs for printing the ballot papers will be cut down. It's going to save time. And then when our students complete and go out there, we are hoping that one day, as a nation, we are going to vote electronically. So students are already aware, they've gone through the system, and so there's not going to be any difficulty when they have to vote, because they'll be 18 and eligible to vote, and they are not going to struggle doing it. So we are only bringing information technology to the doorsteps of our students.
The networked e-voting system, which does not depend on the internet to operate, has also been developed to collate results as voting is ongoing. This, students say, will prevent region and make elections free, fair and transparent. Fred Kwame Asari, JoyNews, who...
Well, so we have to go on. The day set aside by the United Nations to mark World Day of Cancer, medical experts in the Central region are calling on government to invest more in the promotion of the mental health aspect of illnesses. According to them, the mental health dimensions associated with cancers is enormous and could prove disastrous for the population if it is not given a serious attention. The medical and clinical practitioners made the call when an NGO, the New Vision Foundation International, embarked on the screening and sensitization on cancer in some churches in Cape Coast. Richard Kojanyako has more.
The World Cancer Day, that falls on the 4th of February every year, aims to save millions of preventable deaths each year by raising awareness and education about cancer and pressing governments and individuals across the globe to take action against the disease. Some doctors and other health practitioners in the Central Region say the effects of the disease is frightening and the country must make giant strides to create awareness and educate people on it. A public health practitioner with the New Vision Foundation International, an NGO, Dr. Isaac Newman-Atta, is among doctors who screen some church members and sensitize them today. He wants the issues about mental health to be given a huge priority in the country, since mental health had some correlation with cancer.
As a country, we need to do is to promote the mental health aspect of illnesses, because cancer has mental health dimensions, right? People may have some spread to the brain, they may have some cognitive problems, personality change, memory problems. In addition to that, they may be in denial, they may have some anxiety, some depression and stress related with the cancer. There are some social issues with family responsibilities and work-related issues, economic problems. It's a whole issue around cancer.
A lecturer with the counseling department at the University of Cape Coast and board chair of New Vision Foundation International, Professor Linda Naja-Mafford, says there is a need for an increased effort on cancer. She wants people to go beyond going to churches for solutions to ailments, but seek early treatment at medical facilities close to them.
But when it comes to breast cancer, we know that women are most at risk. The statistics are frightening. Statistics about cancer in Ghana, statistics about breast cancer are frightening. We tend to underestimate the initial symptoms of cancer. Oh, it's just a boil in my armpit. And when it gets bad, instead of seeking medical help, we go to prayer centers. Prayer is important, but medical centers are important as well. But the faults, where we fault, is that we keep it in church. Okay, and we forget that even in the Bible, one of the epistles was written by a medical doctor. Luke was a doctor. So we need to keep it balanced.
Programs manager of the NGO, Josephine Kukwa-Mensah, says they hope to take their cancer awareness campaign to the deprived communities in the Central Region to help the vulnerable.
We are hoping to send this important information on cancer to a lot of places, especially the deprived communities, because they don't really have this social media stuff, a lot of hospitals that will help them to know this important information. So our focus this year is mainly to spread this news on cancer to the communities and other places that are deprived, that don't really get these informations. So we are hoping that by the end of the year we would move to a lot of communities to spread this news on cancer.
Richard Kojanyako, Joy News, Cape Coast.
And we have to end the news, but before we go, more than 100 structures belonging to squatters at CMB within the Central Business District of Accra have been pulled down, with occupants counting their losses despite being fully notified by the authorities before the eviction. The exercise, according to officials of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, was to pave way for commercial development in the area. But occupants of the land lament the exercise was inappropriate as a litigation case in court was yet to be determined. There's more in the following report.
The Ghana Railway Development Authority had outlined plans for the demolition of the area also known as Railway Quarters, slated for Sunday, February 4, 2018, with an evacuation notice served on the occupants. But the squatters argue the exercise was in contempt of court since a protracted litigation in the court is expected to see finality on February 19. A notice from lawyers of the residents Afajato Chambers to the Ghana Railway Development Authority stated, quote, "It is the legitimate expectation of my clients that you will wait patiently for the final determination of the matter," end quote. But authorities Sunday morning stormed the area and pulled down over 100 structures. The squatters were left helpless as they watched their belongings pulled apart. Some others were seen trying to salvage what they could before they got lost in the rubble. The exercise, carried out under the heavy supervision of armed policemen, drew hundreds of onlookers to the scene. Kwame is one of the occupants here, whose structure was affected too. He tells JoyNews they were adequately informed about the eviction, but what they were not sure about is whether the demolition exercise could go ahead before the court passes judgment on the matter.
I'm informed almost about 2 years now. But then last week in court, no, almost 19th.
We were informed, but we least expected the exercise today because the case is still pending in court and we expect judgment on 19th February. He says some occupants had made arrangements in anticipation of Sunday dawn's exercise, while others still awaited the court's judgment. Many people made arrangements, but because we knew judgment was set for 19th of February, we were somehow relaxed. Our structures have been completely razed down.
Yes, yes, okay. But 19th judgment, I'm a 19th destroy.
The demolition of the unauthorized structures was to pave way for the private commercial development of the area.